Says we're live.
All right. Good evening, educators. Welcome to day 2 of the mini series, Possibilities to Reality with Bennie Fowler III. He is an NFL football player and Super Bowl champion. He has taken his time to come and talk with us just about overcoming challenges. If you missed last night, don't worry. You can go into the group and watch the replay. Again, if this is your first experience with the mini series in the social emotional learning group for educators, we try and keep the content 20 minutes or less, very simple, and it usually runs for a few nights. So this is day 2 of the mini series. And last night, Bennie talked to us just about, I'm looking at my notes here, possibilities really begin with a dream and the importance of connecting our senses to that dream. And I know in conversations with Bennie, he will ask me, what's my goal? And then how will you feel once you reach that goal? And I always have to think about it because what I realize is that I'm not connecting my senses enough to that end. And when we do that, and when we connect our senses and just fully get engaged, whether it's how we see it, how we're going to feel once we reach it, sometimes how we're going to taste it, right? What we taste that success, it helps us keep working towards that end goal. And so we won't get so hung up on the day-to-day things or anything that comes in our way, and we'll continue to reach the end. He also talked about the importance of perspective and that possibilities come with perspective. So thank you so much, Bennie, for your time. And I can't wait to hear what you have to share for day 2.
Thank you. Yeah, possibility is all about perspective. And also, it's about owning who you are. You have to own who you are. And I am enough is something that I tell myself every single day. A lot of the things that go on in life is really comes down to identity and owning who you are. You have to own who you are because sometimes we put these limiting beliefs on ourselves. We stop thinking so creative. We stop playing life to win and we start playing not to lose. We lose that creativity, we lose that love, we lose that joy, that passion that we so want throughout life. And I think about a time back to Michigan State when I was at Michigan State my junior year, and we're getting ready to play in one of the biggest games. We're getting ready to play against Notre Dame on ABC. And this is getting ready to be my coming out party. I'm actually coming off of one of my best games, my first ever 100-yard game. I'm on the left-hand side of the field. And I still remember the play call. The play call was dancer. And it's just a go route. So you're just beating your defender with all your speed. So I beat my defender and I'm getting ready to catch the ball. The ball's getting ready to come into my hands and it goes right through my hands. And this was another moment right here. Instead of 5,000 people in a sold out basketball gym, it's 75,000 screaming Michigan State fans and millions of people on TV. And it's just like, oh my God, not again. I don't, you don't want to feel this. You don't want to feel this. But when it comes to failure, you have to reframe failure. You have to reframe it because we're all winning a lot more than we're losing. And I had a mentor at that game from high school that gave me a book. He gave me the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It's one of my favorite books. I read it every single year. And it's just about a man, a lawyer, who's a successful lawyer who's had everything. He's got the car, he's eating at the finest restaurants, his practice is thriving, and then he has a heart attack. And he goes on this personal growth journey, a spiritual growth journey to find out who he really is. And he becomes a champion of his own life. And that's what we all have to become. We have to become the champions of our own life. And you might be wondering, well, how do you do that? Well, it starts with the possibilities that I talked about yesterday, and then relating that to your identity and owning who you are. If you want to be CEO, you have to dress and talk and act like a CEO. If you want to be an incredible educator, you have to talk and carry yourself like an incredible educator. That's where it comes about. Possibility, now having that possibility and attaching it to identity and owning who you are and being that fun, playful self that you always are, depending on who you are, but owning that. If I think about my football career and how it got started, I didn't want to play football. I wanted to play basketball. I've actually worn NBA socks in every NFL game that I've ever played in, but I wanted to play basketball. And my mom was one of the people who put the football back into me. I had friends always coming out and asking me to play, and she was like, "You should go out there." And how many moms are out there encouraging their sons to go out and play a game where they get hit hard? But sometimes that's what life is all about. My mom knew who I was. She had the confidence in within me, and that pushed me and led me to greater things. You know what? In the book Be the Hero, it talks about the three main stories that we tell ourselves. The story that we tell about ourselves, the story that we tell about our situation, and the stories we tell about others. And when I think about that, what story are you telling yourself? Is that story honoring you? Is it serving you? Because when we look back on it, we're all winning a lot more than we're losing. Sometimes those failures are just so present in our mind, but we're all winning a lot more than we're losing. And that's why I have a small tool that I'll share with you guys today, which is a win list. If you think about all the things that you accomplished last week, or last month, or last year, or even the last 5 years, think about all the things that you've achieved in your life. Even just last week, getting up, going to work, connecting with people, talking with friends, those are all wins. So that's something that I share with my clients is a win list. Think about all the things that you've accomplished. Think about the time where you wanted something so bad and you didn't know how you were going to get it and you were able to do it. Those are the things that have to be present within our mind every single day to win just the battle of life.
So I have a question for you about the wins.
Uh-huh.
In education, and I think just around for people that are going through burnout, we bring in positivity, and there's a phrase called toxic positivity, and it's just saying it's too much. It's not really matching the reality. So, what would you say about celebrating the wins and how that is different from toxic positivity? Because in our social emotional learning group, I actually encourage everyone to celebrate their wins every Friday, even if it means getting out of a bed on a day that you wanted to call in sick, right? To me, that's
Mhm.
a big win
It's a
because
huge
that's
win.
hard work.
Yeah, that's a huge win. Yeah, I think that's super important. That's great that you actually do that with your group. I think that's super important in terms of that is a win, and people don't look at certain things like that as a win. But also, I have a rate your day formula. So at the end of your day, say it's a five, and there are a couple things that you want to do better. What can make your day a 10? Bringing that self awareness, and those are the things that you can do the next day to make your day even better. So if you're not having a good day or you're not having a good week, take some time to bring some self awareness. Okay, what could have made the week or day better? And those are things that you can carry on. But having that self awareness is key and celebrating those small wins. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I have certain wins that I celebrate if I'm playing on the field, getting the play right, lining up correctly, getting open. Even if I don't get the ball, there's so many things that go right on a play instead of just focusing on the wrong thing.
So if you were to have someone start the rate your day type of activity, you just rate it from 1 to 10, 10 being best type of day, 1 being worst. Is that correct?
Mhm. Yep, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. And then, all right, so you rate it, it's a 7. Okay, what could you have done better? So if I go about my day to day, the one thing that I could have done better was I could have had a better snack instead of an unhealthy snack. So that could have made my day an 8. That could make my day an 8 tomorrow. So to eat cleaner, there's just certain small things that you can do to rate your day and bring that self awareness to the day.
Okay. And how much time would you recommend people spend on that type of activity? Because I could see going down a rabbit hole with it too, and then it being counterproductive. So, um,
Definitely, I would say 5 minutes.
okay.
Just you don't want it to be time consuming because you want to do it every single day. So, 3 to 5 minutes every single day at the end of every single day.
Okay. That seems simple enough. And would you recommend people are journaling it or recording it on their phone or just being mindful of it?
No, I think journaling or recording it on their phone is definitely a better way for it to actually stick, maybe replaying it. But I think always writing things down is the best way for things to stick in your mind, even if it's just a couple minutes, couple seconds, just like, where you at, taking time, you owe yourself that time.
Absolutely. And I could see this being a very powerful activity for teachers or administrators be able to do with their staff or even to bring into the classroom. any child, I would say third grade on up, can rate their day 1 through 10. Anyone younger than that, 1 through 5 is, easy enough for just using the emojis, happy day or sad day. And usually the younger kids can do that range. So I can see this being a very productive tool all the way around, and teachers could incorporate that right into their own workday as well. So thank you
Yeah,
so
it's
much
just
for
going to bring,
sharing.
yeah, it's going to bring just more productivity, more positivity throughout the day. And just really, it comes to awareness.
Mhm.
And when you have that awareness, you can achieve so much more and you can activate things so much more because you know where you want to start.
Mhm. Yeah, and yeah, I want to go back to, you had mentioned the story, be aware of the story that we're telling. I think you said telling ourselves about the situation and telling about others. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Okay, so when we go through that whole reflection activity, is that too something that you would recommend people journal on or just be mindful of? Or maybe we come up with a scenario that we're not feeling very comfortable with. Is that good to just assess right on the spot if we have the opportunity?
Yeah, I think right. You also want to journal that as well. You want to write that down. All right, what's the story I'm telling myself, and then what's a different way I can look at this? What's a positive way? What's the meaning I'm attaching to this? Maybe if you're frustrated, what's the meaning, and what are the facts here? What's important about this?
Hmm. Yeah. Common strategy that I like to use is air. So I just become very aware of it and I interrupt it and then replace it with something healthier for me.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. That's awesome.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time tonight. I don't see any questions or comments right now in the feed. Let me take a look quick and refresh. Let's see. Oh, Leslie says that she really likes Rate Your Day with some level of journaling. Leslie also says celebrate the wins. So thank you so much for tuning in, for all those that are watching. If you are catching the replay, let us know either by liking the video or indicating replay. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put those in the feed. We will definitely make sure that we respond to them as well. Benny, before we go, is there anything else that you want to leave us with for day 2 of this mini series?
No, I was just saying attach that possibility with the identity and own who you are because you are enough. And that's what I'll leave with you with today.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time this evening. And we will be back again for tomorrow, day 3, the final day of this mini series at the same time. So 6 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, and then 3 p.m. Pacific Time. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.